life of being an only child. Now, yes, it comes with many blessings, but ultimately, what people don't really understand is the curses that come with being an only child. And time after again, heard from my friends who've had siblings that, oh, I would die to be the only child. You're so lucky you're the only child. I would die to be able to have my own space to myself and not have to deal with the fucking gremlin that is my brother or my sister. Now, ultimately, they don't understand what they have and the fortune that they have, because me as an only child, I always used to wish that I had a sibling, especially because what people don't understand is when you're an only child and you're growing up, when you're around the age of 16 or just being an only child in general, the only other people in your household tend to be older adults, which are your parents. They tend to, be 40 to 45 while you're 16 and 17, 18. You can't really relate to your parents. Your parents are a lot older and wiser, and they've already went through this phase in this life where you're a rebellious teen. You don't really have no one to bond with on that type of level. On top of that, I didn't really get those, brotherly fights, the brotherly love, the sister to brother fights or love-hate relationship that other people got. I always was the opposite of the motherfuckers who were like, damn, I would crave to be the only child. Now, yes, it does come with this blessing. I'm not gonna lie. I would hate to wake up and want to get on the game, but I can't get on the game because my brother beat me to the game, and now I have to wait on this motherfucker to get done with the game. So I'm just sitting there and I really wanted to play the game, but this motherfucker's on the game. Or just having to wait to play turns on the game just off the simple fact, well, I have to wait for you to die for me to get the sticks. Like, yes, I absolutely loved having my toys to myself. I absolutely loved having my Xbox to myself. I absolutely loved having my own space to myself. Who wouldn't love having their own space to their self? Now, there was a point in my time of my life where, I briefly spent too much time with my cousin, and at the end of the day, I ultimately wanted to kill that nigga just off the simple fact that we were in the same room. This nigga would get on FaceTime and, be talking hella loud. I'd be trying to sleep. He would be hitting the drums. He would fucking be playing the game, screaming and shit, and I just wanted peace and quiet. That made me ultimately realize how much of a blessing it is being the only child, but being in complete solitude isn't really what it seems to be 100% of the time, just off the simple fact that it comes with extreme loneliness. As a lonely child, most of the times I was extremely lonely and I felt like I just had myself, no one else. Maybe sometimes I would talk to the wall if I really got to that point of insanity. Yes, most of the times it would be extremely lonely, and it's actually kind of funny because I would be lonely and I would crave to want to go out, but then whenever I would want to go out, my social battery would die immensely fast. When I'm talking about I wouldn't have went out for 2 weeks and then I eventually get up, get the energy to go out. I would go out, be there for 15 minutes, be hugging the wall, and then want to go home. That's 100% facts. Not only that, there's also a negative connotation of being the only child. A lot of people can point out an only child, and I always, question people, how could you point out that I was an only child? Or how did you know this other person was an only child? And they always say, well, the only child has, a lot of negative personality traits around them. And I was like, what may those negative personality traits may be? And it was like, well, the negative personality traits, y'all tend to be very selfish motherfuckers. Y'all tend to be very stubborn. Y'all tend to be very impatient. Y'all tend to expect the world to, do whatever the fuck you wanted to do exactly when you wanted something to happen for you. Y'all have no sense of accountability. Y'all have no appreciation, meaning you don't say please, thank you, or just appreciate what others may do for you. And, at first I used to always be against that shit. And then I started really thinking about that shit and I realized, maybe I might be a selfish ass motherfucker just off the simple fact that, bro, I'm an only child. Me as an only child, bro, I grew up in my room to myself, getting whatever the fuck I wanted, whenever I wanted it, just off the simple fact that, hey, I'm the only child. I'm my parents' only kid. They're most likely gonna spoil you because you're the only kid. Like, who other mouths do they have to feed? What other kid do they have to make happy? Nobody else. It's just you. So ultimately, I always got whatever I wanted. I always was able to do whatever I wanted whenever I wanted to do it. And another thing is, I didn't have to wait on anybody else to do whatever I wanted to do, and I didn't really have to deal with other people's bullshit. And the more and more I thought about this shit and actually analyzed my life as an only child, I realized maybe these accusations may be true, because I also looked at other only childs and I looked at how they acted, and abso-fucking-lutely, these other only childs out here are complete utter assholes. They have no appreciation for what other people do. They don't say please, thank you, or just show any type of gratitude for things other people do, which, hey, as me as an only child, I don't do that. I say please and thank you, but other only childs, I see that they don't do that shit. But I will tell you, I am a selfish motherfucker. I don't have patience for people's bullshits. I'm short-tempered and impatient just off the simple fact that I was an only child. I don't know any better. Now, my parents did do right because they taught me manners, but other than that, everything else that, you would basically, pin on the only child, hey, I guess I fit the category. And honestly, would I try and change it? No. It's just how I was brought up, my childhood trauma. Not really childhood trauma, but just how I was brought up, and the way I experienced life as a kid, and it rubbed off so on me to my adulthood. And hey, bro, it's just me. At the end of the day, you're gonna take me for the only child I am, or you can get the fuck out of my life, bro. It's just what it is. I'm gonna get my way still to this day, regardless, whether you like it or not.